Hey, we are back. We just finished our group coaching call that we do every single week with all of our students. Anybody who is in any of our programs, they are invited to our group coaching call. And our group coaching call has a real emphasis, a strong focus on the self-control operating system. It allows them to learn a little bit more about the self-control operating system, and then we really start to refine the tools within that operating system. So it's a jam-packed hour, but I think that it's an hour that is absolutely priceless in my week for sure. I come off that call and I've learned so much more about myself, the way I'm thinking and how my thinking is creating my results. So what's new to these group coaching calls is that the first 15 minutes is a teaching opportunity. And we have student teachers now who are actually in the Self-Made You student teacher program that are delivering this lesson. And so Kim Vanderzee Smith was our student teacher this week. She joined the student teacher program just a couple of weeks ago. And I just thought it might be kind of interesting for our listeners to hear, what are your thoughts on that program? Why did you decide to join? We're only 3 weeks in, but what are your thoughts 3 weeks in? So welcome. Thank you for being here first off.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. So I think I wanted to kind of drill down a little bit deeper into what was going on in the back of my mind that was creating the results that I was getting. And the idea of having to learn it well enough in order to teach it, even from a student teacher perspective, kind of forces you to really figure out what's going on, right? If you have to explain to somebody how to when you're teaching something, it makes it a little bit more challenging. And I thought that it can't hurt to have to learn it at a deeper level versus, just kind of knowing the information. This kind of takes the information and you have to then go and put it into play.
Yeah. What do you mind sharing? What would you say was a result that you really wanted to change that you thought this could maybe help you with?
So I think with, the positive intelligence was to kind of have a better understanding of my internal operating system that was kind of giving me the results that I was getting in life. And if we don't take a moment to kind of look at it or uncover what it is, we're just going to keep getting the same results. And you can actually look at it from a weight loss perspective if you want to, well, why do I just keep gaining and losing the same, weight over and over again? Or why am I not getting the results from, a business perspective? Because we keep doing the same things over and over. And if we can understand the foundation of why that's occurring, then we might be able to do a better job of kind of flipping the switch or changing the outcome based on understanding where it's coming from, the origin, the foundation of what it is.
Yeah. So we're really trying to strengthen your Prodigy brain. Another way of saying that is we're really working on the mental fitness. So many of us have an emphasis or a focus on physical fitness, right? I really strive to have, strong mental health. And so I'm actively working on the fitness of my Prodigy brain. And it's the impact of having a strong Prodigy brain is reflected in the relationships that you have, your health and wellness, and then your personal and professional performance. Those, I would say, are the three kind of big picture areas that are impacted through strong mental fitness. And so that's why at Self-Made You, we have programming on relationships. We have programming for people who are looking to grow professionally. We have a leadership program. We have an entrepreneurial program. We have a program that focuses on health and wellness, a program that focuses on habits. So we've hit all three of those big picture areas, but we also know that people really want to get their hands into the best practices within those categories. So we recommend that if you are somebody who like has a real specific problem or goal that you're going after, whether it's health and wellness, relationships, professional goals, that you might want to consider coming through that door, like really going into one of those 10-week programs. But not everybody really needs that, that deeper dive. Some people really just want to better understand this operating system that creates control so that you can go on and achieve any goal. And so what I said today in our group coaching class was that this operating system, it's inherent within everyone. Everybody has these 4 components of this operating system within them. They just don't know how to tap into it. So we call it the self-control operating system, but the emphasis is on self because it's already within you. The SELF stands for self-coaching, eliminating the obstacles that you can and cannot see, leveraging your Prodigy brain strengths, and forging intentional results. Those are the 4 components. Now, there's a level of insight, there's a level of understanding that has to happen with each of those components. That's what we teach at Self-Made You. If you go into a 10-week program, we teach whatever problem it is that you want the deeper dive. We teach those 4 components very specifically to that topic.
Right.
Our group coaching, our membership is a little bit more broad. So a student teacher comes in, teaches a component of the self-coaching operating system or the self-control operating system, and then we dedicate the remainder of the time to self-coaching because it's the foundation to everything, right? As we found today, the person that was getting coached, she was stuck. She's well equipped with those 4 components. She was getting stuck at that first level, the all important self-coach, the S, right? And so that's what we worked on. And she left feeling in control.
Right. And you have to revisit it often. It's not something that you can only do one time and it's going to stick. You have to kind of keep reminding yourself because circumstances change and, life is fluid. So things are going to come and go. And you might have strengthened that muscle at one point, but then when you don't have to use it as much, it kind of weakens over time. And so you just need somebody else or a group of people to come back and be like, oh, remember, you've got this. And you've got evidence from past things that you've done where you were successful. And you just need to kind of remind yourself that you've got it and it's within you. You may not be able to do it every time that the circumstance pops up, but you do have that system, that operating system within you so that you have a safety net that you can fall back on. And then the weekly calls just kind of reinforce the thought and recognizing that it's there, right? Like, and then seeing examples of it in other people where you're like, oh, it's not just me. Like it's everybody kind of has to be reminded. And then you just kind of reflex that muscle so that when you go for the rest of the week, you're like, oh, it's just a reinforcement. Yeah. So I appreciate the fact that we have that opportunity to review it and then also kind of come back where we can see it comes from so many different areas, so many different places in your life.
Oh, yeah. Right. We're actively being sabotaged every single moment of every single day. It's your job to manage your mind so that those saboteur narratives do not end in results that you don't want.
Right.
When you're actively managing your mind, you can eliminate those saboteur narratives. But so what did you just kind of give us the 10,000 foot view of what it was that you taught today?
Oh, what I taught today, that we all have them. They're naturally going to come and hit us because it's one of the strengths that we carry internally. It's inherently kind of in our DNA, and that it's the path of least resistance. And so like you need to create an awareness of it so that you can intercept it, that you can recognize it, then you can connect the dots to figure out how you're going to do a better job of your self-talk, right? Like what you're going to say to yourself in order to actively manage these things that are an ongoing instance in our life. Like everybody has them. It happens every day. So you just want to create like a heightened state of awareness where you're able to recognize it and then kind of put a stop to it, and then kind of get
And
yourself
the
back.
it that she's talking about, or the them that she's talking about, are these obstacles that we cannot
Yes.
see. So the
Right.
SELF, self-coaching, eliminated obstacles, leveraging Prodigy brain strengths, and forging intentional results. What she talked about today was eliminating the obstacle that we cannot see that looks like a saboteur narrative. So she really brought that forward around, okay, so what are the 9 saboteur narratives? We all have the judge. He's like front and center, but he's got
Right.
these accomplices. So Kim gave us a lesson on who are those accomplices, where do they originate from. So it was so good. Like the chat was like, woo, people were like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. And it's so, you feel in control when you understand that you're not broken, you're actually normal. This is a normal process that your brain takes, but this is not the way self-made you students operate. We operate with a system that actually makes us feel in control, not out of control. Right? So
Absolutely.
anything else you want to say?
No, I think that pretty much sums, I mean, that's, yeah, it's just the feeling of control gives you so much more motivation to get through whatever challenges you have coming your way for the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for delivering that lesson. It was hugely impactful. And I just really appreciate it. And I couldn't be more tickled that you're part of the student teacher program. And I can't wait to see what that leads to.
Yay. No, thank you. I love it. It's fantastic.
Yeah. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.